There are as many different personality types in the workplace as there are people. But even though there are differences that divide us, there's one thing that we all have in common: the anxiety we feel about speaking up when we see another person working in a way that isn't safe. No one wants to see anybody get hurt, but it happens all too often when folks don't speak up. We see someone doing something that isn't safe. They could get hurt or hurt someone else. And what do? Nothing. Oh, it's not that we don't care. No, of course we care. And we want to speak up and warn the other person that what they're doing just isn't safe. But we make excuses. He must know what he's doing. Someone else will tell him. Well, it's not my place to say something. But you know what? It is your place. It doesn't matter who the other person is, or whether you even know them. Each of us has both a right and the responsibility to give constructive feedback to anyone who's working in a way that isn't safe. That's what we call speaking up. So what's getting in our way? Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think it's because we all have this natural fear of confrontation. Bottom line, we never know how someone else will react to our feedback.
Bell, we got a big debris pile. We need moved by the end of the day. We got to get trucks rolling in here right away.
I got it. I'll get that done by this afternoon.
Suppose two of you just finished a conversation, and you're ready to get back to work. But he has taken a call and is now unaware of what's going on around him. You want to tell him to clear the area so you can go back to work. But if you do, how will he take it? Will he resent you for bringing it up? Is it worth taking the risk? After all, he is your boss. Let's face it, when we step up to give someone else feedback, it can feel like we're taking a risk. I mean, we might set the other person off, right? They might not want to hear our feedback. They might even get angry at us. Well, okay, but here's the good news. See, we're not responsible for how the other person handles our feedback. They are. We're only responsible for ourselves and how we present the feedback. Feedback's not about criticism. It's about respect for yourself and others. It's about openly and honestly sharing your thoughts with another person in a way that lets them know that you care about them and their safety.
Hey, Manuel. Look, all right, what you're doing there is not okay, and we need to talk about it.
Okay, what? Come on, I gotta get this done.
When I see you cutting that wood on your thigh, I'm afraid you're gonna cut your leg.
How long have I been doing this? I don't have any cuts. I don't have any damages.
I know you know what you're doing, but that's not the right way to cut wood.
Is that so?
Yeah, and you know it is.
Remember, we're responsible for giving feedback, for speaking up, but how the other person reacts to it is up to them. And just as we shouldn't try and predict how they're going to react, we shouldn't jump to conclusions about why they're working unsafely, because we don't know why. At least, not until we ask them.
Hey, you got a second?
I gotta get going.
Why aren't you using the stairs?
What, are you serious? I've been climbing in and out of excavations my entire career.
Okay, but seriously, how much effort does it take?
Come on, John. You know there's no real danger here, and it takes too much time to use the stairs.
You're kidding, right? You're gonna get hurt. Use the stairs. It's the right thing to do. Rick, you're one of the best. If you get hurt, who's gonna teach the crew?
All right, I get it.
Once you've found out why somebody's doing something in an unsafe way, work together. See if you can come up with a better way, a safer way of doing it. And the next step is to try to get them to commit to doing it that way.
It's like a pig pen. Someone's gonna get hurt just trying to walk through here. Any idea how it got this bad?
I'm kind of busy right now.
Busy? How busy will you be if somebody breaks a leg and we have to get an ambulance?
Okay, I hear you. We're just packing up. How about after lunch?
So, in an hour, how many people do you think are gonna be walking through here? Waiting is not okay.
Okay. Let me find a couple of guys and get this moved for you.
Great. I just don't want to see any of my crew tripping and falling.
So work together and try to come to an agreement. And if someone won't make a commitment to working safely, then let that person know in a polite way that you're not ready to give up on it, and then bump the issue up to your supervisor. When you see an unsafe situation, you cannot walk away. Deal with it before someone gets hurt. And on the other side of the coin, if you see someone working safely, give them positive feedback.
Thanks for using the stairs.
No problem. You were right. Better to be safe.
Positive feedback is an incredibly powerful tool for getting the right thing done. And believe me, it works. A lot to remember? Not really. Whenever you need to speak up, follow 3 simple steps. Ask, get a commitment, and follow up. Ask. If you see someone working in a way that's not safe, ask them if you can talk about it. Ask them to tell you why they were doing it that way. Explain that you don't want to see them taking risks and that you care about their safety. But don't jump to conclusions. Get a commitment. Work together to come up with a safer way of doing it. And ask them if they'll commit to start doing it that way. This can be one of the tough parts, but if you explain that it's just because you care, they will most likely appreciate your concern and make the commitment. Follow up. Check to see if the other person is working safely. If they're not, remind them of your earlier conversation. If you have to, go through the resolution process again. Catch them doing it right. And if they are working safely, give them positive feedback. Because positive feedback works best over the long haul. Hey, who doesn't like being told that they did a good job? An old-fashioned pat on the back and a job well done goes a long way. But don't get me wrong. Giving feedback isn't about running all over the place, checking up on everyone, and getting in people's faces. It's about being responsible. It's about being respectful of the other person, of yourself, of what you believe. It's about having the guts to speak up when you see someone else doing something that you just know isn't safe. Okay, I know I can get worked up when I talk about this stuff, but I want to tell you a true story. And it happened at a site very similar to this. It wasn't that long ago. I was working with Jimmy up top. Now, Jimmy was the best. He could fly around up there like nobody's business. I was amazed at how good he was and how much work he got done in a day. He knew what he was doing. He got the job done. Until the day when he reached too far and the iron was slippery. I rode with him in the ambulance to the hospital. Jimmy lived, but he never walked again. And the impact of that was life-changing. For him, his wife, children, and coworkers. But you know what the hardest thing is? I could have said something. I mean, I knew it wasn't safe to work the iron without being tied off. I knew better. And I've tried making excuses. I was new, he was the experienced guy, that sort of thing. Maybe he would have gotten mad at me and ripped my head off for telling me how to do his job. Maybe. But maybe if I had spoken up, he could still use his legs. You know what? Excuses just don't work. I had a choice. So do you.